Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. Before we start anything, just as a wrestling fan, we are saying rest in peace to Jay Briscoe, who passed away in a car accident. And I know the whole wrestling community is praying for his daughters to be okay. They were coming back from cheerleading practice, so definitely you never know what can happen in life. But my guest today, returning to the show, Bobby Beaulieu making a record-shattering, I don't even know how many appearances at this point.
I can't even keep up with it.
So he's back, and we also got Jesse Dellea. He's
Hello.
returning. We got a couple things to talk about here. NFL playoff predictions. Before we get into it, we want to make some picks here, but what did you guys think of the first weekend of the playoffs?
Please.
It was okay. The Jaguars-Chargers game was ridiculous. You were actively rooting against my parlay, which was kind of frustrating to watch with you. Sunday games.
Yes, I was rooting for the Jags. I like an upset.
I'm just on the hook to win $75, and my brother's sitting there going, "Come on, Jaguars!" So that was fun. But the Sunday games were pretty good. I don't know why you call it Super Wildcard Weekend. Got to change that name.
I think it's because now that the 2 seed has to play that weekend too.
It's just stupid.
I think that's why they call it that.
Yeah, to me, it's still stupid.
I did hear people going back and forth. The Monday night playoff game started when they changed the format. That's why there's a Monday night game now.
Right.
So, Jesse, how are you feeling? I was with you during the Bills and Dolphins game. I know you were stressed.
I was. I didn't think it was going to be that close. I mean, it's tough. They're a division opponent. They actually beat the Bills earlier in the year. So them running it back for a third time this season is always tough. And I just didn't think it would be that close. And some of the mistakes that were made by both teams, I mean, that game really could have gone either way, honestly. Like, if the Dolphins won, I would have been upset, obviously, but I would have understood why, because the Bills made some mistakes that they can't make going forward.
That's for sure.
Especially against Cincinnati. That's going to be a tough matchup.
That's gonna be the game that we never got to see because of what happened to Damar Hamlin. So now that game is gonna happen, but this time it's gonna be in Buffalo. So it's gonna be wild. We saw a lot of crazy stuff, obviously, and we're gonna talk about this guy. Brady didn't have is that maybe one of the worst playoff games he's ever had?
No.
I think it's got to be up there.
He's had some pretty bad ones. You don't remember them now because of the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's some losses, like the one in 2011 when we lost to the Jets.
Or the Ravens where they blew us out at home in 2009.
Well, that's where everybody thought the Patriots dynasty was over.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, that's it, 2009, I remember that. It was 2010 playoffs, but everybody thought it was over. So I don't know, though. Tom is not, he's a lot older now than he was then. But
Didn't he end his Patriots playoff career by throwing an interception in the end zone?
He did, but they were in that game.
To Logan Ryan. Yeah.
Former Patriot.
I was at that game. That was at his last game as a Patriot. But if I recall, I don't remember the score. They were in the game.
They lost 13-11 or something like that.
Yeah, this one with the Cowboys, they were never really in it.
No.
At no point.
Cowboys missed 4 extra points?
They tried to give it to him. Dallas tried to give it away.
Yeah, a lot of people saying this guy, they're accusing him of like shaving points.
Yeah, I don't think he did that on purpose because now he's got to worry about being fired. But Brady screwed himself this year because he waited too long to come out of retirement. Bucks couldn't do anything, and they were cap strapped. So like, I think the NFL needs to institute a new rule. If you don't have a winning record, you can't host a playoff game and you can't be in the playoffs. Your division is disqualified.
I see that. I think that's hard to do. Like the whole point of every team is to win their division.
They just go to one top 7 teams straight up go in.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, Dallas is clearly the superior team in that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my buddy Doug that he played on the Thunder Buddies this year. He was making some serious accusations on my post about there's some magnetic thing in the football or field goal post that is causing all these extra points to be missed.
Yeah, and the Earth is flat too.
Yeah, is this kind of a?
I can speak on that.
Okay.
Texas, our good friend Texas, hello Texas.
Yeah.
Is, mentioned the same thing regarding they're putting metal in the gloves and electromagnetic fields on the ball so they can make these spectacular catches to get us to talk about, the one-handed grabs. And I mean, Stephon Diggs had a great catch, and then 2 seconds later, Justin Jefferson in that Vikings-Bills game, makes an even better catch. You wonder how that can happen. But yeah, I don't buy it.
I think that's some tinfoil hat.
That's
I
like
think
the
it
people.
is.
That's like the people who said the fighting necklaces actually balanced out your back and things like that. It's just
My question is,
Lucy.
okay, when anybody talks about conspiracies, because we've had Larry Lemoyne on the show, he's a huge conspiracy guy. You know how many people you have to get in on agreeing to say nothing if that were to anything for that to be true? That's just not possible, especially in the internet, Twitter age, right?
Yeah.
So to all the
Texas also said, when there's that much money at stake, they don't want to leave it to chance. And games are, supposed to be a game of chance, skill versus skill. But with all that money floating around, people who are in charge of that are going to want to know where their money's going to end up at the end of the day. And people have done stranger things to keep their money.
I agree with that. You could only have so many people involved to say nothing.
Yeah, but how does that explain the Jaguars? 60% of the money was on the LA to win. So
Interesting, right?
And that's a bigger market. So TV wise, the Jaguars aren't going to draw against Kansas City on Saturday night. That's why they're playing 4:30. So
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point. Absolutely.
The only conspiracy I will say I 100% believe in is that the Queen of England assassinated Princess Diana. That's the only one I believe in.
A lot of people, still can't believe that happened. But yeah, that's for another time. Let's get into some weekend predictions, though. We'll start with this. This is this could be the biggest blowout possibly. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Chiefs are the number 1 seed. We'll start, Jesse. What's your prediction for this game?
I wrote the Jaguars off at halftime. It was 10 o'clock. I'd seen enough. I was rooting for LA, so I thought I was all set. So for them to come back and win, it's LA and Kansas City are, far different, but I'd like to see Jacksonville. I'd love to see an upset, but I just don't think it's going to happen. The Kansas City's they're clicking on all cylinders right now. The loss of Tyreek Hill hasn't hurt them at all, I don't think. Tyreek Hill had a fine year in Miami, but the Chiefs, they're coached by Andy Reid. He's an offensive mastermind, so they're going to be fine. Travis Kelce's not better than Gronkowski, but he's getting up there. He's getting up there. I would like to see Jacksonville win, but I don't think it's going to happen. Smart money would be on Kansas City, but there isn't a lot of money to win there. So,
no, I agree with that. What do you think, Bobby?
I don't think it's a blowout, but Kansas City should win this game miles ahead by at least 10. The Chargers did lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars this year by 35 points like that, or 25 points, what it was. But this is Patrick Mahomes at home after a bye week. I think I don't know off the top of my head, I think he's 900 or whatever after a bye. This is not the Jacksonville Jaguars of 2017 that went into Pittsburgh and won in the divisional round. I think that it'll be interesting for the first half, but eventually Mahomes and them should pull away. Who's going to stop Travis Kelce? Which, by the way, he's older than Gronkowski. So I can't say that he's better than Gronkowski.
So he's just staying in the league.
Gronkowski's
retire, come back. He's still talking about come back. He's been complaining about his years with the Patriots in every interview now. He did admit he's a Buffalo Bills fan.
He's from Buffalo.
He grew up.
Yeah, I know that, but you would think, now that he leave, he's just it's kind of off subject, but Edelman's come back and they did all this stuff for him. I don't think Gronk or Brady might be doing that. Maybe Brady.
Brady will.
But Gronk doesn't seem like he's just even though I won a lot, it wasn't fun. I didn't get to party all the time,
Right. Yeah, you had different motives.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs too, but I will be rooting for the Jags. I would love to see the story of Trevor Lawrence going on because, man, this guy's doing a lot better since they got Urban Meyer out of there. He was definitely, it's funny what a coach can do. Head coach there, look at Mac Jones and switching of the offensive coordinators. Granted, we've talked about this. Matt Patricia should never had that job. But you looked at what Mac could do when he was under McDaniels.
Yeah.
compared to what he was this year. I think coaches are very important to quarterbacks.
But is it
Absolutely.
Lawrence did better than Urban Meyer? Because Urban Meyer left and he still stunk at the end of last year. It's Doug Pearson, right? I mean, the Eagles, talk about an overreaction. Like, you win a Super Bowl in 2018 and within 3 years you get rid of the coach. That's just stupid. Like, they're lucky they're back where they're at, but, like, Doug Pearson's a legitimate coach and he has a legitimate threat. And now Trevor Lawrence finally makes it look like he was worth the pick that he was with, and he makes people like Mac Jones and Justin Fields and whatever that guy's name in New York there, I forgot his name, and he was the number 2 pick, like, look like bums.
Oh,
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, keep your mums away from him.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday, I'm told.
Oh,
Yes, that's
really?
High school, college, and now NFL.
That would be the story, because I don't think the Jags should even be where they are right now. That would be the story if they knocked off the Chiefs. Like that I don't think you could top anything else in the playoffs if that happened. Let's go to the next one. You got Giants and Eagles. This is a big one actually, because again, this is 2 teams that have played each other multiple times. I don't recall who won what.
The Eagles won both games handily.
So the Giants could possibly be due for a win here. They will be playing Philly. Who you got, Bobby?
In 2007, the Patriots played the Giants in preseason, regular season, and in the Super Bowl and lost that 3rd game. That ain't happening with the Eagles. The Eagles should win this. Not by, I think it's going to be like a 3-point, some point game. They should win this game. The Eagles are pretty good off of buys. The Giants are riding high after upsetting the Vikings, but I think the Vikings were kind of frauds all year. We were making those jokes all year. They played a
Shouldn't have beat the Patriots. That was a catch.
that too, but like if you really look at the Vikings had an easier schedule because they placed 3rd in their division last year, so it was kind of more of a cupcake schedule, and they played the AFC East with, I think they even played the Dolphins without Tua. So
Right.
like, I think the Giants made it close, but the Eagles have shown that they are superior to the Giants. So I think the Eagles get by in this one.
Okay. Jesse?
My wife's an Eagles fan,
Okay.
so it would be better for my family if the Eagles won. Sorry. The Giants, I don't see them going into Philly and pulling the upset. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Well, but Jalen Hurts has not played in a little while. Did he play in the last week?
Yeah, he got some reps.
Did he got in there? Because I know he was out for a little bit.
They didn't get the division. They didn't get the number 1 seed till last week in the playoffs.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say something crazy here. It's one of the worst things in football when you only play each other so many times, right? Eventually, squirrels gotta get their nut, right? Like Gronk says.
Yep.
I'm gonna and Maura McCabe. I apologize, and I hate saying this because can't stand Remedy, right? Him and his ongoing thing. He deleted one of my comments today on Facebook because I said it was the Remedy to bring it to the podcast. But I am going with the Giants in a very, very close game. I know going to Philly, hostile territory, but man, you play a team that many times.
So did you think the Seahawks were going to win last week? The Seahawks lost to the 49ers 3 times this year.
Yeah. So the odds are now the Giants could possibly.
Yeah.
Be the one.
If you slow down Barkley and make Jones beat you with his arm and keep him in his pocket, that's how you beat this team. The Eagles, one of their strengths is their defense that doesn't get talked about enough, and they're very good against the run. So like that's the only thing I think that is they can slow those guys down. The Giants wide receivers aren't going to win this game for them.
We'll see. I'm just going to say that's just
Unless
my
they have magnets in their gloves.
Yes.
Yeah, then the tinfoil hats will be watching. We know that. All right, I'm gonna start with Jesse on this one because this is a big one for you. Bengals, Bills. Who you got?
Well, I don't know. We'll do the review. Yeah, no antics this time.
Yeah.
No wardrobe changes mid-show like I did last time. It's really a tough one. I don't want to jinx Buffalo, but they're home. Last week the sun was a factor, and they're playing a similar time. We'll see if that affects anything, but I just think they're going to rally and they're going to get up for the Bengals because the Bengals are a formidable opponent. I felt like Buffalo maybe played down when they played. They had close games against the Jets and the Dolphins, and when they have a good opponent like the Chiefs. I mean, we just talked about the Vikings being a fraud, but that game went to overtime. When they play in a better team, they play better. So I'll expect them to take that next step and host next week.
Well, I heard
if there's an upset.
It's in Atlanta. Yeah, it's an upset.
Being in Atlanta, but
yeah.
I mean, it's an unprecedented situation. I mean, they should be the 1 seed if they had beaten Cincinnati, which I would like to think they would have. But that situation happened with Damar Hamlin, and the league is doing the best they can, with a ruling on that. And I didn't like that, Buffalo and Cincinnati both beat Kansas City, and Cincinnati and Buffalo both would have to go. Well, they wouldn't have. They have this neutral site now, but it's just a really strange situation. But I think Buffalo is gonna advance.
Okay, Bobby, who you got?
I think the Bengals, out of all the teams that played last weekend, are getting the biggest pass when they played the Ravens, who didn't have their starting quarterback. So it's like we talk about other teams that had to play 3 times. They're playing the Ravens 3 times. They struggled. That fumble, I don't know. The block in the back was definitely a block in the back.
The Ravens just look like a team. Yeah, we don't want to win this game.
Yeah, well, that block in the back should have been called. So that was the touchdown that won the game. So I think it's not fair to the Bengals that this is being played in Buffalo because they were winning when the game was stopped. I mean, things happened.
It wasn't very far into the game, but...
It doesn't matter. They were still winning. It's still not fair that this is not a neutral site, even though they have a better record and winning percentage. Still feel like that should have been taken care of. But regardless, I don't think the Bengals go into Buffalo and win. And I think Buffalo should get a pass off of what happened last weekend. You play the Dolphins so much. It's a division rival. It's tough. They played at 1 o'clock. The sun was right over the stadium towards the end of that game. I think they're at 3:30 on Sunday.
Correct.
So the first quarter or two should be rough. But the Bengals are the team that could do it. But I just have a feeling that there's going to be something in that stadium that just prevents the Bengals from getting through it. If you can shut down Jamar Chase, you win this game, because as we watched Joe Mixon in the last 3 weeks, he's not been good. And it looks like he might be dealing with injuries. So you just got to double team Jamar Chase, focus on making them throw to T. Higgins, and stop Mixon. You're good.
Man, this is probably the toughest one of the weekend. I hate going against Joe Burrow, but I just think the Bills right now could be a team of destiny with everything that's kind of gone on, right? It almost gets that vibes of the 2013 Red Sox when Ortiz this is our bleeping city because of a tragedy. Now Damar Hamlin, obviously he's getting better, but just to have that, these guys got to be very motivated, especially in front of a home crowd, to win a playoff game. So I'm going Bills too.
So we just guaranteed that the Cincinnati Bengals are winning.
Yeah.
So the Bengals probably are going to win now.
You might as well take that to Vegas.
I think we're all going to probably.
It's going to be an emotional game. Sorry to interrupt. But, you'd mentioned T. Higgins. Who knows what's going through his mind, being involved with that. And then I'm not sure, I don't know anything, but they might have some FaceTime together, Damar Hamlin and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
He may request that. Just to let them know that everything's okay. But the emotions surrounding that have got to be incomprehensible. I wouldn't understand how to
when football turns into life or death. There's just that. We'd never seen anything like that ever.
Yeah.
I think we're all probably in agreement on this one. My hatred for the Cowboys goes back to when I was I think we all probably probably even more. We all hated the Cowboys, right?
I never hated the Cowboys.
I've just never liked
really
them.
cared for them.
They always felt like a Yankees to me. But we got Niners, Cowboys. Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant is pretty damn relevant now. Cowboys, they beat up on the Bucks, and I think, everybody's going to be waiting to just, what's his name there?
Dak Prescott?
No, I can't think of his name. ESPN guy. We share it all the time.
Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith, yeah, that just blanking on air. I'm waiting for him to just trash them.
Yeah.
So I'm going 49ers and kind of hope it's a blowout. What do you think, Bobby?
I think this is the toughest game of the weekend.
Okay.
Purdy has been great-ish in the 5 games he's played. Competition's been but he has shown that if you can get pressure on him, he makes dumb throws. He is a rookie. We forget he's a rookie. The Cowboys are going to go in to San Francisco and sneak an win, and I think it comes off of a Brock Purdy pick late in the game that leads to points that the Dallas Cowboys go in there and shock them, because the 49ers are the best defense. If I'm any team in the NFL, that's the one team I do not want to play. I do not want to see them in the Super Bowl if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, or the Bengals. But I think the Dallas Cowboys might be a true team of destiny, that they get their back on the road and they end up in Philadelphia on Sunday, the week after.
Man, a Cowboys-Bills rematch from many years ago could be interesting. Who are you going with?
I think Christian McCaffrey's gonna run all over those guys, all over the Cowboys. And Deebo Samuel, they can mix him in. I mean, the 49ers have a lot of weapons, and as Bobby said, Purdy being a rookie, there's not a lot of tape on him. What school did he go to?
I don't remember.
And a relevant school.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot out there on him, and that confuses coaches when they don't know. So I really think San Francisco is gonna hold serve here and advance.
All right.
I would be curious to see McCarthy's record against rookie quarterbacks, because McCarthy has been in the league many years, and can he scheme something to make Purdy make a dumb decision? Like, McCaffrey will run wild, because that's what he does, and that's kind of one of the weaknesses of the Cowboys.
Right.
So you got to make Purdy make mistakes.
It's going to be a very interesting weekend, that's for sure.
Except for 4:30 on Saturday, that game will not be interesting.
The Jags and Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for the Jags. I might even throw my Tim Tebow Jags jersey on.
You have a Tim Tebow Jags jersey?
Of course I do.
He's the only one.
I was the only. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
right?
the only
Did
person.
Tim Tebow give it to you? Did he come to your
No,
house and say thank you for buying my
I paid
jersey?
full price because I never got a new Tebow jersey with all the other teams he was on. I would never have worn a Broncos. I couldn't do that.
No.
I should have had the Patriots one, but by the time.
They never even put it out.
No, you could buy it.
Uh-huh.
I could find it somewhere, I'm sure, but I'd probably pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have a lot of money when he was on the team, and then I just had a little extra, and I was up one night. I said, "I'm ordering this jersey," and he was cut 2 days later.
Which we told you was going to
And
happen.
I wore it twice so far. Real quick, no explanation needed. I just want to hear it. Who's in the Super Bowl?
Cowboys, Bills.
Bills 49ers.
I'm with you, Bills 49ers. That's what I have.
I would love to see
Yeah,
a
that's
rematch.
If we want to talk about true team of destiny, they had to overcome that before.
Man,
they
the Bills
Right.
Cowboys, I'd take it back to the 90s where I didn't know much about football then. I just knew that I hated the Dallas Cowboys colors. And I never, back then you always got to root for the team getting beat up, right?
I can't hate them because I work with people from Westlake, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas. Like, they're all jacked up. Like, I did have to calm them down about the fact that you beat an 8-9 team in wildcard weekend. Don't act like you beat
Super wildcard weekend.
don't act like you beat a legitimate team. You beat a bad Tom Brady team. Somehow Tom Brady willed that team to 8 wins. I don't know how. By the way,
Right.
Patriots same record, right?
No one's talking about that.
No one's talking about that. That
And
this crap team got in the playoffs. We had the same record.
Yeah, I mean, Brady had everything he wanted. He said 2 better Bucs teams than I think if the Patriots played the Bucs this year,
We would have smoked them.
I don't know if we would have smoked them,
Oh,
but
we would have
it probably would have
smoked City.
been very different than the year before.
With our pass rush, oof.
I do want to ask this because, and I almost is Brady done?
No.
No. Unfortunately, you have to. It's probably going to take an injury, and he doesn't get hit anymore because it's against league rules to hit Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So no,
Well, you can't hit ancient relics.
That's right.
I mean, he'll be 46.
He's
Next
playing
year.
next year and probably the year after.
I've seen Patriot pages saying sign him for 3 years, and I'm like,
There's zero chance that
what
happens.
is wrong? You know, I understand everybody wants to go back to the past, right, and be like, we want Brady back. It's over. The door's closed.
Yeah.
We have to figure out what this team is going to be without him.
I'm 34, right?
Yeah.
My joints and my arms hurt in the winter. You think a 46-year-old man playing football wants to play in cold weather all year?
No.
No, he's going to go to the Raiders if he has a choice.
Raiders, Miami, those are the two options probably.
Yeah.
Does that open the door for Carr in New England?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Carr here.
Yeah, we talked about that in a
See who they sign for offensive coordinator first.
Yeah, well, you know, and Lamar also is out there too, but, you know, I mean,
Ravens made it very clear today that they are going to pay him.
Yeah, but he seems very angry with them right now.
He's angry because he got dragged through the mud last week and the Ravens didn't come to his defense.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll have to see. Do you think the Patriots can be back in the mix next year, or?
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're not playing a tough schedule. They placed third in the division, so they're going to play all the third-place teams in the AFC from last year, which aren't very good teams. I mean, if you can keep the pass rush together, Judon could opt out. He could be gone.
That would suck.
So I think that you fix the offensive line, you bring in a real offensive coordinator, you could be a wild card team. I mean, it was 9-8 got you in the playoffs this year. How much is that going to change to next year? Who knows? You know, as long as there's three dominant teams, the Bills, Chiefs, and the Bengals eating up teams, a 9-8 team can sneak in the playoffs.
All right, fair enough. I'd like to see them back. Obviously, you know, I think if the Patriots were to play the Bills last week, I think Miami, obviously, if they was going to do a better job than we've seen with the Patriots, at this point, can't handle the Buffalo Bills, and until something changes.
Yeah, no, you just can't cover all their options, all their weapons.
Yeah.
You know, I do worry with Josh Allen though. Like, I hope he wins the Super Bowl before he gets hurt.
Same.
He's gonna one of these days he's gonna take a bad hip hit and that's it.
Right.
Yeah, you hate to see that, but yeah, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But I you know, Josh Allen feels like he's going to be haunting my dreams for years to come. So.
Do you know that in his first 3 years he was not very good? His first couple of years, and then he turned it around. Mac Jones.
That's why I get so annoyed with everybody.
Mac Jones.
People just want to give up on Mac Jones. I go, listen, he was a first-round pick. I know it wasn't the top 5 or anything like that, but he was a first-round pick. And you don't, I mean, we had people on the show saying, oh, they got to go to Zappy. I don't really know what Zappy can do. He won a couple games.
I'm taller and it looks like more fit than Zappy. I'm all set on that small guy. No offense to him. I have no interest in a Russell Wilson type player.
This is my biggest gripe with New England fans is that a lot of people were younger that are our age now that just think that quarterbacks like Tom Brady happen overnight, right? Oh, well, look at the Zappy guy. He's going to be the next. No, that's not. Brady was like a 1 in a million chance. I mean, he should have gone higher in that draft than he did.
He started a Rose Bowl.
In hindsight,
yeah. I mean,
right.
and
I mean, he couldn't. No offense to him, he couldn't win out the job outright at Michigan. That's what hurt him.
No, but I mean, looking back, I mean, 199 even for for a quarter. I mean, the Patriots didn't know what the hell they were drafting. They were paying Drew Bledsoe stupid money at that point.
They were paying him stupid money. They just actually paid him stupid money that same year.
That's right.
Everyone was calling for Michael Bishop, if you don't remember.
I remember that.
Like,
I remember that. Yeah, he had a few good things. It's like, wait.
in the preseason.
And the thing was, back then, I didn't understand football like I understand it now, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I was like anybody else. I was like, yeah, Bishop. But I didn't know what I was really talking about. You still go with Bledsoe over him.
Yeah.
And Brady was just lightning in a bottle, and that's really hard. And to just throw in the towel on Mac when people act like that, I go, I don't know what to think. Because he was okay with McDaniels. We got to the playoffs. Okay, I'm not saying he was a superstar, but he made the Pro Bowl, even if it was other people dropping out. But, it was a big dip from going from McDaniels to Patricia, and people don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
No, I think people are less patient now because you mentioned Josh Allen. I didn't like when they drafted him. I didn't like what they gave up for him. And, he started slow. And, 1 year he threw 10 touchdowns, and the next year he threw 20. The next year he threw 40. So he was projected for 80 this year. He didn't get it, but there's still time.
Well, he didn't play a full schedule.
He didn't play a full schedule. 80 touchdowns is a little asterisk.
Where our whole run with Brady was, I always said, what I've learned about this league quarterbacks don't grow on trees, and if you're going to win, you got to have the quarterback. But you also got to develop players, right? You can't just. That's why the Jets aren't giving up on that other kid either.
Oh,
They're like, we're not done with him. Things are rocky there, very rocky with the Jets and Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
But they really should. I mean, was he the number 2?
Yeah.
You really don't want to just give up on the kid, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's something that is one thing about New England fans. As a New England fan, that grinds my gears.
A good defense, though, can get you there. Like, you don't need a top
And Brady had really good defenses in those early years.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Tom Brady was good in his first 10 years, but he really became Tom Brady when the defenses fell apart and they went offense and had to figure out ways to win. But then again, he didn't win another Super Bowl until they brought in Darrelle Revis and another defense that was one of the top 5 defenses.
Yeah, people just, what I've realized is like everybody has a short-term memory.
Yeah.
Short-term memory is like huge there.
Yep.
I was going to do this. I just want to do quick early softball predictions. You don't have to tell me too much. I just want to know who we think's winning each league here. Nashua Industrial, if you were to pick a very early winner, who we got?
I don't even know who's in it anymore.
How many teams are there?
We got
I mean,
6.
Kung Fury is my preseason pick.
I would pick Kung Fury too, depending on some things that could be happening. There's a
We
lot
just
of
don't
talk.
know who's coming back.
A lot of talk
I
of
mean,
expansion teams.
Yeah,
Fast Life, that's it. They're going off. They
They just have to deliver in the playoffs.
yeah
They did not bring it in the play. I think they had a first round bye,
had
and
a
then
first round bye and we
Kung
swept
Fury
them.
we
then
beat them.
Kung Fury.
So I like
felt the
Fast Life.
Fury.
Great guys. They
Great
weren't
guys,
not
definitely.
ready for the big time.
No, I mean, if Kung Fury comes back, they've been there the last 3 years. 1 and 2 in the championship, but they've all been. I mean, Kung Fury had every opportunity to win last year. Didn't work out.
When you're up 8 runs in the bottom of the 7th,
Yeah.
you got to close that game.
Yeah, happy birthday, Eric Pascal.
Ejected our second baseman, our shortstop got them suspended. I mean, but
I also got
that
COVID
is
in
not
this
why
2
we lost
games.
the series. I just want to make that
I missed
clear.
2 games for COVID.
Yeah, so I mean, but again, you're in game 5 and you're up 8. It's the bottom of the 7th, and you can't get out of it. It is slow pitch softball, but you would think 8 runs,
Right.
but it didn't happen.
But I'm really curious to see who comes back for Fury and for the other teams.
Yeah.
A lot of guys might just want to focus on tournaments. The young guys are getting older now. My Brew Crew teammates, they're all getting older and having families now. Like, softball might not, Tuesday, Thursday might not be the draw it once was.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. It's going to be. That's why these are very early. I want to say maybe Bobby. I know Bobby's not a big fan of it, but as the president of the Sunday Co-ed League, and
That's not really in it anymore.
Me.
Yeah.
early prediction. For me, hard to go against Josh Lee and the Panzeri Plumbing right now. But Josh, NWO is working. I'm no longer part of Jackie Chan. NWO is cooking up a little something for you, Josh. So I probably shouldn't have said that because he's going to stack his team even more. But what do you think?
I don't think he's worried about you.
All right.
Nothing personal.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, Josh Lee's he's a great guy, great leader. He's great at softball, so his friends are great at softball. So that's why they're able to build such a good team. I made what I thought was a funny video about him stacking his team, and then we set the whole thing on fire. And when I was stacking my team, but no, I think High Five Party. I'm on there, and we made it to the championship round last year, and we've got some additions that I can't speak about right now.
No. Would no one wants to reveal anything out of
Nope,
probably
of course
the team
not.
group chats right now?
Of course not. I would never think to do that. But High Five Party was, a bell at the ball last year. I don't see why we can't go and get the final dance this year.
Well, I think that's what's going to be happening in that league. A lot of people are going to be, what can we do to get over the hump to beat that team? Because I think they only lost 1 game all year. And
To New World Order.
no, they lost. I thought you guys beat them.
Well, we beat them.
You guys beat them. Did NWO won 1 game too? Okay,
During the
so they
regular
lost
season.
2. They lost 2.
Was Sean Rand at the games? If Sean Rand wasn't there, it doesn't count.
I couldn't speak to either one because as a president, you're pretty busy on Sundays until it's your game. Well, actually, no. I get bothered even when I am playing. But,
I mean, you're gonna know if Superman's there.
Yeah. I want to ask this though because this is a heated topic in softball, and I've been wondering what people's definition is of this. When someone says they're stacking their team, what the hell do they mean?
I think when you have a bunch of people that are, really good, but they don't click, they're not friends, then I would accuse that team of stacking. Like I genuinely enjoy playing with my friends. A lot of people become my friends once I become their teammate. But no one will accuse me of stacking my teams because every time I build a team, we go 1-3 or 1-2 in a tournament. But I enjoy just playing with my friends, and I think, not to single Josh out, but I think in his case, that's what his Sunday team is. It's a Sunday. It's a fun league. His friends just happen to be better at softball than me and my friends.
Do we think it's like part of okay? So we're talking about league teams. Do we think it's because it's a classification thing? Like, okay, Josh has 4, and I don't know how many C players he has, but let's just say he has this many C players or this many D players. Is the stacking on ranking, or is it like?
It depends on who's acting, who's saying it. Yeah, I mean.
I feel like there's just so many people saying different things where I'm like, I don't know the true definition of stacking a team.
I've shown to a tournament where someone said, our team is stacked, and I go, we're not stacked. We're adequate, and we went 0-2. I think it just depends on who you are. Like, you want to say it's stacked, but, anyone can win any given day. It really depends on who does well.
Yeah, I mean, my definition, if I'm going to stack my team, I'm going to, same with the Turkey Bowl, I'm going to pick my friends, people that I want to spend the day with. No matter if a game breaks out and we have to play, that's fine. But if not, we're just going to hang tight and mix it up a little bit, that's how I stack my teams. I know it's not the goal, but the goal is winning. I do like winning, don't get me wrong. But my friends are pretty good at softball, but some people's friends are better, and they've been playing together longer. That's the other thing. It's how often I think these guys play with each other where some people get upset that so-and-so is playing over them, and then that creates division, and you don't want that. So, just when it comes to stacking a team, you want to make sure you have the right guys with the right talent level.
No, I get that. It's funny because I threw this question to Brandon, and Brandon goes, you should know you played on a stacked team for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean.
But the Raccoons were not stacked in 2017.
Which year was that?
The first year that you and I were on the team that won it.
No, we were pretty stacked.
We had a good team, but
you guys hung out and watched other teams, and I thought you guys had a great team because you guys all got along well. You seemed like you genuinely enjoyed being and the chirping on each other. You wouldn't chirp the other teams. You'd chirp each other, which I loved.
Government beers.
We talked about this when DC was wigging out, and every time he'd make the last out, he owed beer. So he gets out one more time in a game, and he's livid, and he's coming back to the dugout, and he'd already thrown his bat at his own team.
Yeah.
And Teddy Sr. just goes, government biz, as he was coming from coaching first. I was like, Teddy, don't. He's already,
He's already set off.
So then I yelled, and then, here's the biggest thing about the ribbing was we wouldn't stop. I think Hollywood was the umpire. I go, Hollywood, toss him. You're going to toss him. He just threw a bat at us. He goes, I can't toss a guy throwing a bat at his own team. So, and DC's a great guy, but man.
Absolutely.
Getting him worked up, I think everybody on the team got off on that. And the minute that he showed that it bugged him, that group was like, we're not letting it go.
No.
Yeah. I forget who we were playing, but he had made the last out of the inning before when we got to the last inning. And no one wanted to make that last out, and somehow it got all the way back to DC, and he made the last out.
Because it started getting in his head. And then I remember, he went to left field, and he makes this catch. And again, it's the last inning. I don't even think we're up by a couple runs. And Chris Derby comes up to me and goes, I thought he was going to throw the ball in the parking lot when he caught it. He's like, I was convinced he was going to catch it and just throw it in the parking lot. So big ups to D. I love DC, but man, he gets worked up.
Yeah.
Cool, just some fun questions, real quick, and then I want to go to buy or sell. Is cereal soup?
No.
Cereal is delicious and is not a soup.
What do you define as soup?
A broth that you make and
Has to be a broth.
put something together, and
So it's not just like
More than one ingredient, I would imagine.
is pasta and
Required
water a
cooking.
soup?
is pasta?
In hot boiling water, it's soup? No.
We're not eating it that way though.
No, but it was boiled
Are
in
you
water.
eating
so
boiling water? Why? Because if you're doing that, you're gonna get hurt.
If you eat the pasta that's in that water, is that soup? No.
So you guys are saying no?
No.
Cereal.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unified front.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
You're the second person that's asked me that today. And I'll tell you what I told them. If I was given a Hawaiian pizza, I would take off the sliced ham before I took off the pineapple, and then I would eat the pizza with the pineapple on it. So I'm personally not going to put it on there. I'm not going to order it, but if it's given to me and someone's being nice and sharing what they have,
Take it.
I'll take it. And I just don't care for ham, so I'll take that off maybe, but I'll keep the pineapple on there.
Okay.
People put anchovies on pizza. So yeah,
I think that it's like
pineapple on pizza is fine.
I mean, people like salty sweet candy or stuff like that, like pretzels dipped in chocolate, right? Is this in the same realm? Of,
I think it was something that happened on TikTok that people just go overreact.
I'm not on TikTok.
I don't do
There's a
I don't-
TikTok thing where people are going nuts about pineapples being on
Average
pizza.
age of this show right now is like.
You probably the
Yeah.
people who said that question you probably saw on Instagram.
No,
which then came from
these are
TikTok.
questions for me. These are questions for me.
That was a TikTok phenomenon, by the way.
I want to ask this: if peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called?
It would be called Sticky Yums.
Okay.
It's sticky and it's yummy.
Is it sick? Yeah, I guess you. Yeah.
Yeah, it sticks to the roof of your mouth.
Okay.
Nutter butter.
Well, that's already taken.
Well, that would if that peanut butter wasn't invented. Peanut butter was invented first before the nutter butter. So if they didn't call it peanut butter, it would have been called nutter butter first, and then the nutter butter would be called peanut butter.
Was it George Washington Carver invented peanut butter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I gotta ask this. This is the hot topic going around social media, not created by me, but by many, many other people. How do you guys feel about people that don't return their shopping carts?
There's a special place in hell for them. I return mine. I try not to get involved in other people's affairs, but I return mine. That's all I can say. Or if I'm walking to the store and there's a rogue cart and I need a cart, I'll grab it. But I do think people that don't put them away might have other problems as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I've seen a lady with 2 screaming children and didn't put her cart back at Target, and I said, "You're already screwed anyways, so you might as well be a piece of crap." So
Did you offer to put it back for her?
No, I left it there. I'm not moving it back. That's not my problem.
Okay.
That's someone's job.
Yeah.
That is Brittany Damon brings this up all the time. That's a often misconception. Their job is to go to the cart corral and bring them back. So if you're leaving your carts everywhere, that's just I understand you're a customer that you're spending money there, but do you go pee on the floor at every bathroom you go to?
I will say though, when I worked at Hannaford and I did have to get carts, there was not the cart corral. It says you were to collect all carts within the parking lot.
Let me ask you this: you order pizza.
Yeah.
Do you not tip? You're not really legally required.
Delivery or
You order a pizza. It's delivered to your house. Okay. Do you tip the driver?
yeah, that's to offset their gas cost
100%.
Okay.
because the employer does not do that.
I understand that, but
Even though they charge a delivery fee, they don't.
Yeah.
That doesn't go to the driver.
It doesn't go to the driver.
you're not obligated to tip, but you tip. You're not obligated
because
to
someone's
pee on
using
the
a
floor in the
gas
bathroom.
is filling their gas tank and wear and tear in their car.
Well, and that's the other thing. If these carts are flying around the parking lot, it hits your car, you're gonna be pretty pissed. So I just bring it back to that. If you're gonna tip and you say that's right,
Those are two separate things.
No, they all kind of fall in the
no, they
same
don't.
realm. No, they do.
No, they don't.
Because these are common courtesy things that people should be doing.
If
Okay.
I think Aldi has it right.
those are not
Aldi
two
does
Zinnies.
charge you a quarter.
Yeah.
You get
You
it
want
back,
that
though.
quarterback, which I don't know how many people care that much about a quarter. But again, if you don't go to the bathroom and pee all over the floor, why are you leaving your card out?
Those are two different
Yeah, that's-
situations.
I don't think so.
If my mom had wheels, she'd be
Do you
a
think
bicycle.
people should litter?
Huh?
Do you think people should litter?
Why are you comparing?
No, I'm asking you.
returning
I'm asking you a
cards
question. Do you
to
think
litter?
people should litter?
Are we on Fox News right
No,
now?
I'm just
Like,
asking
what's
you
with
this
the
question.
one-overs?
So the answer is I'd say no, right?
Tucker
should be
Carlson.
put it.
Tucker Carlson. I don't believe in littering.
I'm just saying.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
That's a law against that.
There's
Okay, maybe there should be
literally-
a law against not returning your card. Maybe it should be a minor fine.
a quarter.
Who enforces that?
I don't
You
know.
got to pay somebody to enforce that.
You want to raise my property taxes to enforce someone putting their card
I'm
back?
just saying, it's unethical,
Yeah.
totally out of line, and you might as well have just peed on the floor if you're gonna do that.
Fair.
So, real quick, if you guys had a wrestling name, if you were a professional wrestler, what would be your wrestling name?
I would just be Bo. They don't do last names in wrestling anymore.
Well, that's not true under Triple H.
Well.
It's reinstated.
Sometimes.
So, Bo.
Yeah, just like
There's
Hook.
already a Bo Dallas.
No, Beau, not Bo.
Oh, okay. There is a Bo Douglas that spells it that way.
Who?
Bo Douglas.
Where does he do it?
He's a local guy.
That doesn't count.
Oh, wow. That's
Stealing from locals doesn't count.
Jesse, what do you think? What would you be?
Man, I am wishing I read the agenda because I would have came up with something great. But
There's a reason we sent this out.
there is a reason we send this out. Oh wow, this is the best question you've asked all night, and I don't have an answer, and that's gonna bother me. Let me marinate on that. We'll come back.
Uncle Jay.
See, the Uncle Jesse's a softball thing.
But we used it when we did the haunted house thing. We terrified people when I was like, "This is my Uncle Jesse." Remember
That's
that?
true. That's
and you would
true.
come out.
Right. But Uncle Jesse's Dukes of Hazzard, Family,
Oh, see, I only knew Family. No,
or Full House,
Full House,
excuse
yeah.
me. So I can't really appropriate that name for sports entertainment, you
Okay.
know?
Because I mean, I would just use Tiny Pipes, my softball name,
Of course.
and sell it somehow.
So you'd be a jobber.
Until I drop the Tiny and just be Pipes.
Sure.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get into buy or sell. Got a few things here. You guys are going to let me know if you're buying or you're selling. Big game this weekend for the Cowboys, 49ers, Dak Prescott.
Do you want us to just go in any order?
Jesse, you can go.
I'm selling Dak Prescott. I don't think that was a good signing. And, yeah, I'm all set with Dak Prescott.
I'd sell on him if I was a owner. I think he's a fit for the Cowboys. I'd sell.
Not a lot of quarterbacks that you could possibly get. I'm selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm selling. Brady's 2023 season, if he comes back, buying or selling?
I'm buying. He's coming back. Like, is he coming back or is he going to be good?
I'm saying if he does come back, we don't know what he's going to be. At this moment in time, what you just saw on Monday, are you buying or selling Tom Brady going to
If I'm
2023?
a team that's on the brink, yeah, I'm buying. That team that he played for, he willed to 8 games. That team's not good, and yet he got them to the playoffs. Yeah.
Jesse?
I buy Tom Brady coming back. I would sell on his success, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense because, we've seen quarterbacks a lot younger than Brady go face down into Brett Favre. I know Brett Favre didn't take care of his body like Tom Brady does. Brett liked his beer.
And he liked to run, like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Who got
Right.
I am going to say I wouldn't buy it. Like, I don't want the Patriots to get him. If
Patriots
Tom
don't.
came home, it'd be nostalgia for me and be like, oh, I want to go to I want to go to the game, see Tom play again. But I'm selling unless it's to the Raiders.
If he goes to the Raiders, Jacobs resigns, and he's thrown to Devontae Adams, that team will steamroll teams. And they have a very weak schedule.
Buy or sell the antics of the Bills Mafia. They seem to be more behaved now that they're winning. I have noticed that. You don't see the videos all the time. Buying or selling the Bills Mafia.
I'm buying, as we're both members.
I was deep undercover. I was
Deep
very deep
undercover.
undercover.
Yeah, for me personally, like I don't want to. I want more than what they've got right now. So if and when they win the Super Bowl, that town's going to be in a lot of trouble.
It's going to burn to the ground.
I hope not.
There's not much to burn.
There's
There's a lot of houses near the field.
Everything's covered in snow.
Well, they'll go to Buffalo. That's in Orchard Park.
Yeah.
Right. But no, I mean, I think they're
jumping in Niagara Falls. Like,
they're subdued because they don't want to expend their energy until they can get the ultimate prize.
They were also getting a bad rap for the team.
I've infiltrated some of their fan pages.
They were getting a bad rap for them. You can't be hooligans.
I've infiltrated some of their
soccer.
fan pages, and there were people in there like saying, "Oh, we're so much better than the Patriots now." Blah blah blah. And one fan said, "Let's win a Super Bowl first before we start doing this."
Right.
Okay. And they called them all idiots and said, "Let's win it first, and then we can." Winning regular season games is great. We're gonna get to. I hope we never get to the point where Patriots fans that act like Yankees fans were like, "Well, we did this once." But
It's happening.
yeah. What do you think, Bobby? Would you buy or sell them? They're more calm this year, though.
I'm selling it. It's a gimmick, and it's a gimmick of a losing franchise. Get rid of it. Bills win the Super Bowl. Don't even acknowledge them.
Okay.
You don't deal with gimmicks like that. You don't need to.
Okay.
Especially if you're upper class winners. You don't deal with losers. And that's what the Mafia is.
As someone that infiltrated the Bills Mafia, it was deep undercover, as deep as you possibly could go. Right now, they're not entertaining me. So I am selling them.
Barstool stopped dealing with them as much. They weren't allowed to get as much video because they couldn't share.
I think they were going too far.
Yeah, well, Barstool changed the way that they share things now because of the way that they got attacked for sharing a video that they didn't have the rights to. So they started making their own content. So they've kind of pushed aside.
I think
stuff like that.
I think the fans want to be more coherent for the games now. It's not
That's
as
a great point.
You don't want to be drinking a whole bottle of whatever the heck they drink out there, and not remember a game that you won, right?
Okay. Inflation too. Tables are expensive.
New England Free Jacks, buying or selling?
Selling.
I hate you. What do you think, Jose?
I'll buy them. They were in the mix last year. They've got a good product.
Yeah, I'm buying 100%.
I saw them choke last year in the Eastern Conference
No,
Finals.
well, we did find out on the show too last week. Rugby New York had to add a lot of people at the end, and they didn't just add. They've actually changed the rule.
Did they stack their team?
They essentially brought in a bunch of All Blacks.
You scored a try within the first 3 minutes of the game and then did nothing.
But it wasn't the same team.
I'm just saying, the Free Jacks puked on themselves. They could have won that game and they didn't.
I do want to say I'm buying on. We're hoping Bodine Waka can come for the end of the year. He is finally almost breaking starting lineup for the Kobe Steelers. The Japanese rugby league is miles ahead of MLR right now. Because I looked at who was starting on Saturday night. I go, wow, Bodine's the MVP of our league, and he's not even a reserve tonight.
Yeah.
He is a reserve going into this next game. So we're hoping for Bodine, but we also want him back. But he's making more, as a human being, he's making a lot more money.
Significantly more money.
So we want to root for him there. Josh Allen is a future MVP of the league. Buying or selling?
How much money do you want? I'm buying.
We can't exchange the Merrimack TV rule.
That's fair.
There's no gambling.
No, I mean, he's got all the tools, and I see it could be this year.
You think he's a candidate?
He's a candidate.
He's a candidate.
Okay.
If not this year, maybe next, depending on how the next couple of games go. But yeah, as long as they can, if he had a running game to lean on, I think he needs that to get to that for the whole organization, get to that next level. Because right now he's the running game. I mean, Singletary and Cook aren't the answer.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm not blowing any minds with that statement, but yeah, if he had an elite running game where people had to actually, maybe stack the box even, his numbers would be insane.
Yep.
And Diggs seems to love him, so he's going to stick around. Gabe Davis, when the playoffs come on, he comes on. We got Cole Beasley back last week.
Yep.
He's got the targets. I would love to see Josh Jacobs come up to Buffalo. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bobby?
I'd buy. Yeah, but he won Super Bowls. Who cares?
Yeah, obviously he'll probably want to win a Super Bowl. I could see him being, if not this year, eventually it. I do want to ask this last one. We're getting a little short on time here. I guess I'll ask two players that potentially, if the Patriots did decide we're not going with Mac Jones anymore, you got to pick one to buy and you got to pick one to sell. Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson.
I'm buying Derek Carr and selling Lamar Jackson, easily, without even thinking about it. Lamar Jackson has knee problems. He didn't sign the big contract. It's going to be a struggle for the Ravens anyways, and when he comes back, you never know what's going to happen with him. I don't like mobile quarterbacks, no offense to Josh Allen. I'm selling Lamar and buying Carr.
Jesse?
Same. The Patriots offense is better suited for a pocket passer like Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson would go rogue, and he might just want to keep the ball himself, and the injury history is just not something that you're going to want.
I also don't like runners on our turf. I don't like our turf. Our turf turns over a lot because of the soccer field and stuff like that. I do not like mobile runners on the New England turf.
See, I love a running quarterback, so it's hard for me. But obviously, I was a Patriots fan who was watched Brady all these years. So my safe answer would be Derek Carr. But damn, for me to buy a ticket, I would buy tickets to see Lamar Jackson every Sunday. Obviously, I'm not going to get season tickets. That's impossible. But I'd probably want to go to multiple games to see Lamar play.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's going to do it this week. I appreciate you guys coming on, Jesse and Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to have you guys back.
Captain.
Thank you, Kevin.
Everybody out there, have a wonderful week. Again, we're stressing this. We're trying to hit this home. Return your cart. It's not hard. It takes, I know, especially in the winter. We haven't even had that much snow. There's no excuse. But everybody have a great week. Keep your heads up. And until next time, let freedom ring.